Hi, it's James. Welcome back to the channel. So glad you are here. Today we're going to talk about how Lisa Harper was the guest speaker at Gateway Church. We're also going to talk about Denise Boggs and what she heard Marcus Lamb say just days before he passed away. He told her what his last wishes were for Daystar. And let's just say that Joni was not a part of that plan. Marcus wanted to pass the torch. And but we'll get into that in a minute. Do want to deal with a Perry Stone fan that decided to write in and make a comment. And look, 95% of the people that comment on my videos are, you guys get it. You understand what's happening. I have some really smart people that watch this channel. Unfortunately, Mr. Moondog, and I'll put his comment right here. I scribbled out the last part of his. We don't need. Don't go after this guy. He's already said he was going to block me. So whatever. Here's his comment. He said, "I watch Perry Stone and I like his program. I'm sure you commend about a wolf in sheep's clothing. And I'll also refer back to you. I think what he's saying is, I'm sure your comment about a wolf in sheep's clothing can refer back to you. Here you are accusing someone else. I have followed Stone and learned quite a bit. You need to watch your own videos, see how ridiculous you appear. I will be blocking you." Well, first of all, Mr. Moondog, I have never asked for money on this channel. I've never asked for money. So how can I be a wolf in sheep's clothing when I give away my knowledge about the Bible freely? Now, eventually I am going to write a book, but right now I'm doing research. I'm learning from other people. You know, there's a reason why I'm going to that Restore 2025 conference next week, is because I want to sit at the feet of people like Dr. Diane Lamberg, who has been counseling victims of abuse for over 50 years. She's been doing it almost as long as I've been alive. I'll be 52 in May. So there's that. And then there's the part that very few people seem to understand. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I have a Master's of Divinity. It's 87 hours of graduate work. Okay. Just because you have a YouTube channel or a YouTube handle and can make comments on videos does not mean you are a Bible expert. I don't even like referring to myself as a Bible expert, because there are some people out there that do know more than I do. But here's what I can tell you, Mr. Moondog. I graduated seminary in May of 2011. When we were waiting to go into the graduation ceremony, it was at First Christian Church in Tulsa. Okay, I went to a Disciples of Christ seminary. We were in the fellowship hall. We're about to go into the sanctuary, and these two guys that were ahead of me, I'll never forget this. These two guys ahead of me in line were like, "Man, I'm so glad I'm getting out of here. I'm never going to read another stupid book again." I thought that was completely preposterous, what they said. And I made it my goal. My goal was to read one book a month for the rest of my life. But considering that was 14 years ago, you think I'm smarter now than I was back then? Yeah, I've done the work, Mr. Moondog, so therefore I can comment on things like this. And by the way, here's my challenge to you and any Perry Stone fan. Go into Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel. Name any prophet in the Old Testament, or what some scholars refer to as the Hebrew Bible. Name any prophet in the Bible that does what Perry Stone does. Well, this number means this, and this number means that, and if you add these numbers together, it means this. Nobody in the Bible talks like that. Nobody. Perry Stone's a fraud. Perry Stone's fake. I would rather move to Fort Worth and join Eagle Mountain International Church and listen to Kenneth Copeland and his son-in-law, and than to listen to Perry Stone. Perry Stone is a huckster, and he there's no such thing as Hebraic hermeneutics. It's just hermeneutics. It's based on you have to have knowledge of the language, the Hebrew or the Greek. But there's no such thing as Hebraic hermeneutics. And he makes up terms, he takes numbers, and he tells you what they mean, and he just twists things to give you the interpretation that he wants. It's just absolute nonsense. So, got no time for him, got no place for him. Let's get to Gateway Church. Lisa Harper was the guest speaker there. She did all right. She's not one of my favorites, but I will admit that some of the things that she said, she talked about human beings being made to be in the image of God, and it's important to be a part of a community, and that's absolutely true. You've got to find a biblical community of Christians who are going to support you and encourage you, and that's all true. And she talked about the Imago Dei, which is the image of God inside of us. That we are hardwired for community. I love her quote from St. Augustine. She said, who said, "Only the Christian God exists in perfect community unto himself." So the problem I have with Lisa Harper is she makes so many jokes in between. When she makes good, solid points, it's like it's hard to focus. There was another quote she did from C.S. Lewis. I didn't get a chance to copy it down. And I love the fact, here's one of the things I can tell I'm dealing with somebody who's trying to be authentic, or, she said, "You need other people." And then she stopped herself and just said, "I need other people." We have to exist in Acts 2:42 verses 47. The Bible says that the early church, there were four main things that they focused on, and that was the apostles' teaching, the breaking of bread, fellowship, and prayer. So obviously we need fellowship. So anyway, I don't want to do a whole video on that. It was decent. Somebody asked me if I really thought Levi Lusko could be the senior pastor at Gateway Church, and I said absolutely. Other than Max Lucado, he's clearly the best speaker that's ever been there, and he's already the senior pastor of a multi-campus church. So clearly, he's already doing it. It's just in Idaho and Montana. So moving to Gateway Church would be a step up. Anyway, let's get to the main part of the video. I want to talk about what Not by Sight News did a video on this, and this originally was material that Denise Boggs did an interview with Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson. And Denise basically shared what Marcus Lamb shared with her just 2 days before he passed away. Not by Sight News did like a refresher on all the stuff that happened, and the whole Joni running to Marcus and saying that God told me Pete was innocent, and it's just spiritual manipulation. I totally agree with what Not by Sight News said. But I want to get straight to the statement that Denise Boggs made. And let me just say this, being 51, I'll be 52 in May. I trust my gut instincts. I trust, thankfully I don't have as big a gut as I used to. I weighed 217 last year, and now I'm down to 180, so I praise God for that. 2 days before Marcus died, in the room was Marcus, Joni, Susie, and Rachel. Marcus instructed Denise, one of the girls, to get Denise Boggs on the phone. And then Marcus asked her to write what he was about to say down. This is the key, and Not By Sight News was exactly right on this. He talked about how him and Joni built Daystar, and it would go to Jonathan and the rest. These were his wishes. That Jonathan, the oldest, he is going to be the one to lead Daystar in the future. And that Susie, who's now a lamb, will be at his side. And then she said, Rachel Lamb Brown, she will stand by her brother's side. And then he also said, Rebecca Lamb Weiss will be at Jonathan's other side, and Jonathan Weiss will be by her side. Did you notice I was missing somebody? He did not say Joshua Brown after talking about Rachel Lamb Brown. That wasn't a mistake. And Denise still has this note that she dictated from Marcus. I believe, beyond a shadow of a doubt, and I can't prove it, but I truly believe that Marcus had a change of heart before he passed. He knows who hurt that little girl. And the bottom line is this. Joni heard every word that Marcus said to Denise Boggs. She heard every word. And yet, she did everything she could to get power and to get Jonathan and Susie out of Daystar. This is all about power. This is all about control. And quite frankly, Joni Lamb and Dr. Doug should not be running Daystar. They shouldn't be running anything. And it saddens me that in the whole process, and quite frankly, I mean, I care about, let me put it this way. I care far more about that little girl and her safety than I do about who's in charge of Daystar. But the fact that allegedly Joni Lamb played politics and forced her own son out of the company her husband started is utterly despicable. It's sad. It's really sad. This is the kind of politics that it just makes me sick. So I've seen behavior like this, and what it is ultimately is human beings operating by their own flesh instead of operating out of love. It's sad. It's really, really sad. But sometimes it happens because, as Lord Anton once said, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So I hope and pray that one day Jonathan and Susie Lamb will be in charge of Daystar, because that's the only way that ship is going to get right. If they're going to right the ship, you need the right captain in charge of it. Anyway, if you are new, please hit like and subscribe to one. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I'm just utterly disappointed that sometimes people act like this. It's very disturbing. So. Anyway, I do want to thank you for being here and thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.